What's up, everyone? Welcome to This Day in Philly Sports History for February 4th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the podcast, a Super Bowl Tuesday. And yes, it is Tuesday. It's time for our weekly dose of motivation / positivity. And in honor of Super Bowl week, I feel there's only one place to go with this. One of my all-time favorite quotes, and it comes from one of our all-time favorite native sons, real or fictional, however you want to put it. But this comes from the movie Rocky Balboa, and this is Rocky when he's talking to his son. But I feel it was the perfect quote for the Tuesday before the Super Bowl. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody's going to hit hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning's done. Now, this is going to be very, very Eagles focus on this. However, you can apply this very, very easily to your own life. But this team for the past 2 years has been hit and hit hard. It's been knocked to its knees, and they just keep coming back and fighting. It started with Super Bowl 57 with the holding call. Whether or not it was a hold, yes, it was. Should it have been called? Probably not in that. But either way. And then after that, everything just went to hell. They started off 10-1, lost 5 of their next 6. The collapse. All of a sudden, the coaches can't coach. Nick Sirianni is a clown. Is he going to keep his job? Sirianni and Jalen Hurts don't get along. Jalen can't read the blitz. He's overrated. He's not our quarterback. It's going to be a long season. This could be it for Jalen. People were actually saying this could be it for Jalen in Philadelphia this year. Then they started off 2-2, and everything just got louder. The criticism, the clowns coming out of the woodwork saying, this team is terrible. Jalen Hurts is terrible. And then all of a sudden after the bye, they started to run the ball. And it was, but who have they played? They beat the Browns and they struggled. Oh, they beat the Giants. And that was supposed to be a hard game going into it. And they're like, well, it's just the Giants. They stink. And then Cincinnati. Oh, this is going to be a true test for this team. They go in there and play well. And then all of a sudden, well, Cincinnati doesn't have a defense. And then, you almost blew the game against Jacksonville. And then all they did was keep on winning. They beat Baltimore. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Washington. They beat the Rams on the road. All games that people said, they're going to lose this. And all they did was keep coming forward and getting hit and coming back and getting hit hard by the media, by the fans, by other teams. And they just kept coming back and winning. And it's still, Jalen can't pass. If you didn't have Saquon Barkley, where would you be? Green Bay is going to beat you. How'd that work out? No way. The Rams are going to come in here, snow or not. They're going to beat you. How'd that work out? That's all right. Washington, they're hot. They just took down the Lions. Look out. Jaden Daniels is for real. He's going to give you guys trouble. The dream is over for the Eagles. How'd that work out? And then all of a sudden, here we are. It's the Chiefs. It's the three-peat. It's Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the ghost of Andy Reid. You won't beat Andy Reid. This team has been hit and hit hard for almost 2 years. All they do is keep coming back. And as Rocky said, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep coming back, keep pushing through. All this team has done for 2 years is keep pushing through. And here they are on the precipice of a Super Bowl, and it's still continuing. This team is calloused. And I'm not even close to making a pick or the 3 keys or anything, but this team is callous. This team has been through adversity. If this team gets down 14 points in the Super Bowl, I'm not worried. This team has been through it all. Some of it has just been bizarre, but they've made it through and they keep pushing forward. They get hit hard and keep pushing forward. Now, you can translate this into your own life. I've been hit hard. You keep coming back harder. You keep coming back stronger. You develop those calluses. This team is callous. You need to be calloused in your life and go out and seize the day and just keep coming back. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to read the whole quote, but it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning's done. This team has taken a lot, and they keep moving forward. I cannot... Give me the game day. Give me the game day. EAGLES, Eagles, let's go! That has been today's Tuesday Motivation Positivity. Hopefully you can take something out of your life. I am ready to go here on a Tuesday. And yes, it's only Tuesday, and I'm ready to go. But this team, like I said, has been hit hard and just keep moving forward. And here we are on the cusp of immortality. Let's go, Birds. All right, let's do some housekeeping. First of all, still not too late to buy some cookies from Ella. All the information you need is in the description. Help support her Girl Scout troop. They've been working hard out in the cold, selling cookies, really working hard. So if you can, help out. You can even donate some boxes if you don't want to have the cookies yourself. It's not too late. There is the Super Bowl block pool benefiting the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. That link is also the top one in the description. Buy a square, $50. Split the pot. Proceeds benefit like I said, the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. Good money to be won there. Have a little bit of fun. I've got a pretty good track record when the Eagles are in the Super Bowl winning block pools. So to keep that streak alive, I will be buying my square as well. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mott on Twitter and TikTok, at Philly Jimbo on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mott. Spread the word. Let's continue to outsmart the algorithm. Every little bit helps. I've started putting shorts of the question of the day on there. Every little thing. I got some things going on behind the scenes to try to outsmart YouTube and Google. But continue to spread the word. That is the best way to grow this thing. And I just want to say thank you. As I was looking and getting prepped for today this morning, 8,000 views we went over on Spotify. So thank you. That means probably between YouTube as well as Apple Podcasts and the other, we're over 10,000. But 8,000 streams or plays, I guess they call it, on Spotify. Thank you for your support. And again, let's continue to grow this thing as we get ready to take the Super Bowl. And by the way, the Super Bowl block pool story, I had 2-2 in Super Bowl 52, and I won the big halftime pot. So buy the squares. All the information you need is in the description. Flyers out in Utah tonight to take on the Utah Hockey Club. The big question is, will they score? 3 straight shutouts for the Flyers. Something tells me they're going to score tonight. I'm not going to predict a win, but they will score a goal tonight. I just feel it in my bones. Sixers down at the Wells Fargo Center. First game of a back-to-back. They take on the Mavs. Word on the street is somewhere in this back-to-back, we might have a Joel Embiid sighting. Everyone practiced yesterday, according to Nick Nurse, including Paul George, including Joel Embiid. So I doubt he's going to play. Either one of them will play in both games. So I don't know if they'll split it between tonight against the Mavs and then tomorrow against the Heat. But we may have a Joel Embiid sighting. And Paul George has been in the news all day yesterday. Lots of teams expressing interest in trading for Paul George, including the Hawks and the Warriors. Bye, Paul. See you later. I have zero emotional attachment to you. You've played in like 4 games. See ya. If somebody's going to give us some draft pick capital for it, or maybe a young player, happy trails, Paul. I don't know what the draft pick situation is like for the Hawks and the Warriors. I do know unless it's a top 6 pick, the Sixers don't have a first-round pick this year. So if they're going to give us a first-round pick and we're guaranteed to have one this year, see you later, Paul. It was nice knowing you. Thanks for the 7 games or whatever it is you played. But we'll have more on that, I guess, as the story develops. But listen, desperate times. We have 0 draft picks because, of course, they keep winning just enough to not fall within that top 6. And it's going to take a miracle if they do make the lottery, and there's still an outside chance they could actually sneak into the play-in tournament. So if we can get a draft pick out of this, I have zero problem saying goodbye, and I wouldn't even shed a tear. Be sure to check out my friends over at the Clashing Conferences podcast, doing great things with their sports fan network. Might have an announcement soon regarding them, but that's available wherever you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. Excuse me. As always, check out our friends at the On Pattison newsletter as well. We're featured in there a couple times a week. We were in there yesterday. Great sports coverage for Philly sports, especially during Super Bowl week. So go check them out and get it delivered directly to your inbox. And then, of course, go to Philly Goat. I've been telling you, they have you covered from head to toe. I'm wearing my Mega John hoodie today, and hats, T-shirts, and any of the teams, any of the sports. They even got coffee. If you want to get coffee in a cooler, go ahead. They got you covered. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. All right, let's get into the ridiculousness that was the Super Bowl Media Day. But first, let's start with a recap of yesterday's question of the day. I asked you, where are you going to watch the game? You going to a party or a bar, or are you going to watch it at home? 67% of you said you're going to watch it from home. In my opinion, that is the right decision. If you are hosting a Super Bowl party, the onus is on you here. You got to be very strategic with who you invite. And if you are going to invite the casual fan and mix in some of the hardcore fans, you got to have separate viewing areas. You have to make sure you have 2 TVs. And if you're going to have kids, make sure you have 3. Put the kids down on the Switch or the PlayStation or Xbox. Get them out of the way. Put your hardcore fans strategically placed near the beverages. Just saying, near the beverages. And then the casual fans, put them in the living room. Put them near the food, wherever you got to go. But it's on you to make sure this is strategic. Still not sure which way I'm going yet. Kind of leaving it up to my wife, who's going back and forth. I made my stance pretty clear. I don't want to tell Aunt Sally to shut up, but I will if I have to. Shout out to Philly Goat, though, who summed it up perfectly. There's no place to watch but home. There's too many variables. And again, Aunt Sally, the food, somebody talking about the commercials or Taylor Swift. Too many outside distractions. The kids running around. The kids fighting. If they're anything like my kids, they will fight at some point. So you got to be locked in, as Philly Goat said. So shout out to Ryan from Philly Goat for checking in on the Back to the Future voice and text line. 67% of you are watching from home. It's leaning and becoming more, that is the way we're going to go. And I'll spend the whole day prepping food, cooking, and by about 5:30, everything will be set out. Kids are on their own. Wife is on her own. Dog, I'm not taking care of the dog. Kids can feed the dog. Everything is settled. And that's when you crack open a beer and get ready for game day. All right, anybody else, if you haven't noticed, specifically today, anybody else have an extra pep in their step this week because of the Super Bowl? Last week was kind of like, it was kind of a normal. It was weird on Sunday not going down to the link. But this week, like, definitely an extra little pep in the step. Shit was going down at work yesterday, and I'm smiling through it because I'm like, the Eagles are going to be playing in the Super Bowl. This isn't that much of a drama thing for me right now. I'm focused on the Chiefs. But let me know your thoughts on that. Do you have a pep in your step this week? 267-495-8531. That'll get you into the Back to the Future voice and text line. I certainly do. I just hope I don't crash by Friday. I'll probably be in bed by 7:30 on Friday, the way I'm feeling right now. All right, some news out of the media day or opening night, whatever they're calling it now. I mean, it's literally a joke. I'm glad they do it on Monday. So now it's Tuesday. Everybody can focus on football. But big stories before opening night. Lane did say, I read somewhere that he is coming back next year. It does appear that Kellen Moore is going to get the Saints job, which is still weird that that's where the Super Bowl is. And I know we have the PTSD from Jonathan Gannon, but I think Kellen Moore is a different kind of dude. And Jonathan Gannon was a scumbag. Yes, we forgave him. Doesn't mean he's not a scumbag. But I think everybody's making a big deal about this, and I think what you need to understand is this isn't a normal job. This isn't like if I put in my 2-week notice and I'm kind of just playing out the string, having discussions about what the school year is going to look like next year. I really could care. This is the Super Bowl. This is this is not corporate America. This is the biggest stage, and there's no guarantee that Kellen Moore, as the coach of the Saints, is ever going to get back to a Super Bowl. So I think, yes, there's some merit maybe to him being a little distracted, but I mean, this is the Super Bowl, and I think he's going to be locked in. Yes, he's going to be thinking ahead about his next job. It's human nature. However, this is different. This isn't like you're going to a meeting where they're discussing things where you're not going to be there. You're playing in this game. You're coaching in this game on Sunday. So I think we'll be fine with that. Of course, Myles Garrett asked for a trade, and the rumors were rampant. Can we just get through the Super Bowl first before we start worrying about it? Because if we're the defending champs and then we can get Myles Garrett, listen, that's a whole different story. But I'm not focused on Myles Garrett right now. I'm focused on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kenny Gainwell is still in concussion protocol. However, a couple of the reports where he was in the Superdome, which was loud, and he wasn't allowed to interview because of concussion protocol. But the fact that he was there means I take that as a positive sign. And I have a feeling it's probably similar to what Jalen was going through when he was out because they haven't practiced. That's that last final stage in the concussion protocol. So we should get more clarity on that today. Of course, Roger Goodell was asked about the Chiefs conspiracy. And of course, he says there's no Chiefs conspiracy. But the fact that it was asked to him on the biggest stage, opening night of the Super Bowl, kind of like that for the Eagles. He might tell them, hey, kind of thinking back to Coach, I can't think of his name, but the coach from Remember the Titans when they were fixing the game against the Titans because of the Hall of Fame. And he was like, hey, you call this game down the middle. You call it correctly. So maybe Goodell's going to go to the refs and say, hey, you call this game down the middle. They're on to us. We'll see. A little bit of fun. Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship want to create a podcast where they're drinking white wine. Jeffrey Lurie does not want to have the home game in Australia. He doesn't want to lose the home game, which I'm sure if they pay him enough money, he will lose that game. Also doesn't have any interest in buying the Boston Celtics. I don't buy that for a second. But again, it's Super Bowl week. These are all stories we can talk about after the game. Jameis Winston was the star of the night for me, though. Going around interviewing people for Fox Sports, handing out W cookies and tossing them. This dude is amazing. And yes, he's still playing. He's still he's a good backup, I guess. But this dude is absolutely hilarious. So Jameis Winston was the star of the night for me. But it was a weird night. It's over with. Let's get on to the game stuff. But lots of talk about whether or not if it's going to be a close game, a blowout, what the Eagles need to do. So my question to you, not asking for your prediction or final score, but is this game going to be a blowout or a close one? 267-495-8531. That's the question, or the Back to the Future voice and text line. But the question of the day: do you see this game being a blowout or a close one? And I keep going back and forth, but it would not surprise me if the Eagles win this by 10 points. It also would not surprise me if they lose it by 10 points. Still figuring out the keys and everything, so I'm not ready for a prediction. But what are your thoughts? 267-495-8531. Blowout or a close game? All right, let's let the good times keep rolling. Today we're going to go back to 2018. On this day in 2018, it was the greatest day up until this point in Eagles history. Yes, Super Bowl 52, 41-33. Eagles beat the Patriots. Nick Foles outdueled Tom Brady. Nick Foles threw for 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and caught a touchdown on the greatest play in Super Bowl history, the Philly special. You know it well. Corey Clement to Trey Burton to Nick Foles. touchdown Eagles on 4th down, I might add. I think that is like the added thing that sometimes gets missed in the Philly special. It was a 4th down play. But so many great plays in that game. BG sealed it with the strip sack. LeGarrette Blount, Zach Ertz, that was a catch. Corey Clement, I can give you that was kind of questionable, but they counted it. And Alshon Jeffrey also scored for the Eagles. And I think the most underrated play in that game, everybody talks about the Philly special, the Ertz touchdown, the Corey Clement touchdown, LeGarrette's run. Everybody talks about all that. But I think the most underrated play from Super Bowl 52 was the 4th down late in the 4th quarter, right around midfield, when Nick Foles hit Zach Ertz for like a 2-3 yard pass to extend that drive before Ertz caught that touchdown. And I think that cannot be overstated. That was a key. If he misses that, game is over. So I do think that was the most underrated play. Obviously, you had the Malcolm Jenkins hit on Brandon Cooks that sort of set the tone for the game. Just a fun time. Great experience. Trying not to wake up the kids. I was hugging the dog. And then just outstanding. One of my all-time favorite memories was winning Super Bowl 52. Cannot wait to do it again this Sunday. But on this day in 2018, Eagles beat the Patriots 41-33 to win their first ever Super Bowl in Super Bowl 52. Nick Foles, the MVP, and setting the whole Philadelphia region into pure exuberance for weeks. Like that good feeling lasted for weeks, if not months. So I'm excited to do it again. Finally today, our Black History Legacy Maker with Philadelphia ties. This time we're going to go with a team, and that is the Philadelphia Panthers. They were an all-black semi-pro basketball team in the 1910s and the 1920s. They grew out of the Christian Street-colored YMCA down in South Philly. And Philly at the time was a black basketball powerhouse in the country, and the Panthers were sort of the pinnacle and the most successful of those teams. In fact, they were so successful that they were nicknamed Philly's representative team. So when there were tournaments and they would travel, everybody wanted to play the Philadelphia Panthers. They had stars like Tarzan Cooper, who we talked about yesterday, Jackie Beathard, Zach Clayton, and Bill Yancey. Now, ironically, Clayton and Yancey also played for Philadelphia-based teams in the Negro Leagues for Major League Baseball, or for baseball as well. Those four, though, went on to become stars with the New York Rens, who we talked about yesterday. So they all got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame as members of the Rens. And then, of course, Tarzan Cooper and Zach Clayton are both individual members in the Naismith Hall of Fame for basketball as well. But the Philadelphia Panthers really trailblazed and set the tone for black basketball in Philly. And the fact that all of their star players went on to be stars elsewhere, it was really sort of like a training ground and almost like a feeding system to those bigger teams out of New York. So the Philadelphia Panthers are today's Black History Legacy Maker with Philadelphia ties. One of the best black basketball teams in the 1910s and 1920s. And many great players, Hall of Famers, and I'm very blessed and pleased to be able to bring them and kind of remember their names and get that out there, because I feel like a lot of these guys probably would be forgotten and you might not know. So the Philadelphia Panthers, led by Tarzan Cooper and Zach Clayton, are today's legacy makers with Philly ties. On this day in 2018, the greatest day up until this point in Philadelphia Eagles history, 41-33, Super Bowl 52, Nick Foles MVP, setting the stage for an amazing parade a few days later. We will have more on the Eagles Chiefs, finally able to focus on football. The media circuit stuff is out of the way, so let's get it going. But let me know your thoughts for the question of the day. Will this be a close game or a blowout? 267-495-8531. That'll get you in. Text me, leave a voicemail, whatever you got to do. Hit me up on the socials. Does Joel play tonight? Does Paul George get traded? Does it really even matter? Will the Flyers score? We'll have all that for you tomorrow. But remember, as you go through your weeks, It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much can you take and keep moving forward? This Philadelphia Eagles team has taken so much for 2 years, and here they are in the Super Bowl. If they can make it to the Super Bowl, you can get through your day. So hopefully you can take that and be productive in your weeks. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for February 2nd, it's February 4th, 2025. I'm all fired up now. Go have yourselves a Tuesday. Hopefully I can maintain this energy level. I got to pace myself. It's a long week till game day. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Tuesday. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.